Well, I did it. I finished the trilogy. Come on, cat. Um, this is the Aftermath Empire's End review. Oh, God. Well, the first book sucked. The second book sucked too. And what do you know? This one sucks too. So I think I can honestly say this is the worst Star Wars trilogy ever written. Ever in all the canons. Genuinely, it's absolutely awful. So, from what I can tell, Gallius Rax, who's the leader of the Imperial Revenant, is remaking the Empire in his image on Jakku. Our protagonists go over there to go attack Sloane because they think Sloane's part of it, but she's not. Sloane's trying to get her own revenge on Rax. And the Battle of Jakku ensues. So, let's get into the good. There isn't any at all. I tried. I tried to find something good in this story. There is some good. It's not in what's in the story, it's what was left out of the story. So I'll give you a few things. Number one, Luke wasn't involved. Now they ruined Han and Leia and Lando and Chewie with these books, but they didn't ruin Luke. So that's good. Number two, there isn't a number two. This book was long. This book, it reminds me of bleeding hemorrhoids. It'll go away eventually, but when you have it, it feels like it will never end. And that's the problem with this book. This book never ends. But at the same time, nothing really happens. For a book that's written in third-person present tense and is supposed to be action-packed, nothing really happens. I mean, half the book is them trying to get to the Battle of Jakku. And what I mean by this is Mon Mothma's being, her usual pansy ass that she is in the new canon, is some sort of peace-loving hippie, and just doesn't want to go to war, but at the same time wants to go to war, and she's losing the chancellorship because she sucks. But hey, she was a great chancellor according to Leia in New Republic Bloodline, but according to Chuck Wendig's books, I never saw that. I guess that's what Chuck Wendig considers to be a good leader, is to be a fucking pussy and not do anything and be like, oh, we've been at war for so long, let's demilitarize the New Republic when we're still at war with the Empire. I don't understand it. Her character is so baffling to me that I just wanted to fucking stop reading. It makes no sense. More importantly, why does Admiral Akbar put up with her crap? I mean, if she was doing that, you could have just started a coup and he would have won. I'm serious. Why didn't Admiral Akbar start a coup? It would have made more sense. And then you'd have your Resistance and New Republic, but we already established that the Resistance doesn't come till after New Republic Bloodline, and that's a long ways away from this book. Jeez. Everyone is stupid in this book. I'm serious. Every single character's stupid. It's boggling. It boggles my mind. I mean, we have Jar Jar in this book because I guess everyone was so stupid we needed to have a character that was already established as even more stupid to be in this book. But Han acts like a buffoon. Leia... I guess Leia's not too stupid. She's very pregnant and that's her character. Yeah, the whole thing she is she's pregnant. They try to redo Last Command with that when the twins are born for the ending of this book, but it doesn't really work. Temen's still a crybaby bitch, like he's been in the last two books. But I guess he's snapped now, spoilers. Poe's right-hand man in Black Squadron That's the guy that looks like Kevin Smith but isn't Kevin Smith. I guess that's Snap's Temin, but that doesn't make any sense because that would mean that he's older than he looks in Force Awakens. Because I just assumed he and Poe were like the same age, but no. Because as you remember, Shattered Empire, it's about Poe's parents, and they're not even married yet, and they no kids to speak of. Let's see, who else is stupid? Nora's really dumb. I think she's one of the dumbest in this book. Because Nora decides to jettison herself out of an escape pod. And Jazz is stupid too because she follows her in and does it. Singier's his usual obnoxious self. His boyfriend's okay. Doesn't really do anything. Temin's dad has no character. Brenton. I think his whole line is he has to redeem himself, but why he followed Ray Sloan makes no sense to me. Ray Sloan's, all of what I thought was good about her in the second book is gone. Chuck Wendig tries to make her a broken character, but she doesn't seem broken. She just seems kind of grumpy and pissed, and it makes sense. It's like the only thing that does make sense, but we have to get to the dumbest, and I mean the dumbest of every character, and that's Gallius Rex. I have no clue what he was trying to accomplish after the whole, I've changed the Empire, made them a bunch of scary thugs. What am I supposed to do now? Oh, I'm going to blow up Jakku and destroy the New Republic's army and the Imperial Revenant and take my weird cult children to the unknown region and find some sort of Sith thing. So I guess that this is when it gets really confusing, and this chapter boggled my mind. It's at the very end of the book, and it sort of explains Gallius Rex's plan, or Palpatine's contingency. The whole, he has Hux, and I mean, Hux's father and little boy Hux, you remember him from Force Awakens? They've taken a bunch of orphan children, and they've, brainwashed them into being psychotic killers, which I guess is sort of what the First Order Stormtroopers are. But Palpatine sent something in another galaxy that was a dark entity, and he used Thrawn's knowledge to create this contingency to go out there. The whole problem with this is that it's a dumb version of what Thrawn was used for in the EU, because Palpatine kept Thrawn around because there were other threats to the galaxy, which is similar to what's in this. But that turned out one of those big threats ended up being the Yuuzhan Vong, and we had the New Jedi Order series. But this is the been there, done that. Now, I figured when they introduced Thrawn into the new canon that they were going to do this. They were going to do something like they did earlier. And, well, I guess they kind of did, but it doesn't make any sense. It's not explained well. And it just... I don't get why trying to blow up the planet of Jakku would help anyone. Lando's in this, in an interlude, and it's stupid, and he acts like an idiot. Several of the interludes get sort of concluded, but at the same time a lot of them don't, because a lot of them are new interludes, so it raises the question why the interludes were there, period, and why weren't they their own terrible short story book. I'm serious, I don't understand why they're there. They don't really add to anything. I think 2 ended up being something. Number 1 was the stupid ankle biter brigade. I can't believe that exists in Star Wars. It is the world's dumbest title for any sort of Peter Pan Lost Boys kid brigade. They call themselves the ankle biter brigade. They actually capture Masamita and deliver him to the New Republic. And the other is when Mercurial Swift is introduced along with Dengar in the first one, that Mercurial Swift ends up being an antagonist in this book. But the thing is, he's stupid too, and Jazz gets the upper hand, and they end up... Yeah, I won't spoil, but you shouldn't read this book, is what I'm getting at. It's so bad. Like, I didn't even know how to review this. This is like my third take of trying to do this review over the last few weeks, because I didn't know how to approach this. This is how bad it is. Do I do a can rant? No, I don't want to give it the pleasure of that. I've given Chuck Wendig a can rant before. I don't want to give him another one. Do I make it funny? Well, no. Because this isn't a funny book. It's not funny bad. It's just bad. It's that kind of bad where the creator thinks they're creating some sort of Mona Lisa, and it turns out to be what that one woman did in that church and defaced that painting of Christ. Made it look like a 4-year-old with a broken arm drew it. That's what this is. That's what this book is. It's bleeding hemorrhoids. Would I ever read these books again? No. They don't really set up anything. As of at this point, I think everyone's going to avoid them. In fact, when this one came out, they were straight up like, throw this aside, get this out early, because we didn't have to wait a year for this one. We waited a year between the first two books. This one, it was like half a year. Like, they just wanted Chuck Wendig to get this last one out and throw it away. Just because Thrawn was coming out, the Timothy Zahn book, we gotta prepare for that. That's going to be good. What we have Chuck Wendig under this contract. We need to get this last Aftermath book out now. Everyone tears them apart on the internet, unless they're paid by us not to. So, they did it. Not just that, but they let Chuck Wendig write the Force Awakens comic book adaptation. I don't understand. Do they like him? Because at this point I don't think they do. His stuff sells a lot, but it's critically panned. Fuck, I don't know. What do you want me to say? I'm embarrassed that I read the first one. Not to mention that I've listened to like all three on audiobook by Mark Thompson. Mark Thompson can't even save this, and he's like the voice of Star Wars. He can't even save this atrocity. So overall, this gets 0 out of 5 stars. You should not read this. I can't believe I took part in it. I can't believe I reviewed these. God. I don't even know what to say. Goodbye, I guess? What do you want from me? Do you want me to review something good? I mean, I'd like to. Alright. Next review will be something good. I promise. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go vomit.